Here we go.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of our discussion on Song of Solomon by the wonderful Toni Morrison, just a phenomenal author. We did part 1 our last time, and tonight we'll be finishing the book, taking a kind of a different approach to it because it's a very dense book, and I didn't want to go into every characterization or every scenario in the book, but more talk about the big overarching ideas. So that's how we will finish it up.
Oh, good. I like that.
Okay. All right, so Toni Morrison's craft. So we want to talk about Toni Morrison again and why she wrote the type of books that she wrote and continued to write. So we're going to start with a video where Toni Morrison's going to speak to us when she was interviewed to ask why she writes. So that's coming right now.
I know how to write forever. I don't think I could have happily stayed here in the world if I did not have a way of thinking about it, which is what writing is for me. It's control. Nobody tells me what to do. It's mine, it's free, and it's a way of thinking. It's pure knowledge.
This would be like game.
Which knob were you touching there before? Which knob had you touched?
Ready?
We're rolling.
God help the child. It's not my fault. So you can't blame me. I didn't do it, and I have no idea how it happened. It didn't take more than an hour after they pulled her out from between my legs to realize something was wrong. Really wrong. She was so black, she scared me. I wanted to focus in this book about the confusion there is about race. This girl is abused by her mother because she's born really black. So I wanted her journey to be about becoming a three-dimensional human being. I didn't discover why I wrote until later. I came at it as not a writer, but a reader. And such a story didn't exist. Every little homely black girl was a joke or didn't exist in literature. And I was eager to read about a story where racism really hurts and can destroy you. I told her to call me Sweetness instead of mother or mama. It was safer. Being that black and having what I think are two thick lips, calling me mama would confuse people. I even thought of giving her away to an orphanage someplace. And I was scared to be one of those mothers who put their babies on church steps. What I've learned to do and what I really feel proud about is being able to say more with less. Let the reader enter with his or her own imagination. And that makes us co-conspirators, as it were, together, the reader and me, simply dumbstruck by her beauty. Booker stared open-mouthed at a young blue-black woman standing at the curb laughing, her hair like a million black butterflies asleep on her head. He put the trumpet to his lips. What emerged was music he had never played before. Low, muted notes, held long, too long, as the strains floated through drops of rain.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. And I wanted to show that one because this was one of the last interviews that she did before passing. And that was her book, God Help the Child. And as she was sharing and reading, like she says more with less. And she has a lot of ambiguity in her writing. She doesn't exactly tell you everything. She said that the writer and the reader are co-conspirators. And I kind of like that idea, that she doesn't tell us everything and reveal it all, but she's very crafty and just giving you enough rope that you can pull it out and dissect it and make it make sense for you. And what I like about that with Morrison is that she writes about very important issues in Black America. And she does it in a very intellectual way, which is why she's won all these Nobel Prizes. But she also does it in a very real way. When she was reading that story about the mother who had the baby who was very dark in color, and when she read that piece about not wanting her to call her mama with those thick lips, it really, as a mother, makes you think, would I feel like that about my child? How could you feel like that? And you want to know more. Well, what was it about the color? What was it about that made this mother feel that way? So that's one of the things that Toni Morrison is known for, is just her way to really get you to think. And I think in Song of Solomon, she gave us a lot of stuff to think about. This book was written in the 70s, late 70s, won many awards, and it was an Oprah Book Choice book, as we said last time. And it sold over 500,000 copies when Oprah put it on her book club. And it has continued to be a successful book. And most college courses, I was an English major, if you take a Black literature course, you're going to read Toni Morrison, and Song of Solomon or some excerpts is going to be in the anthology. So it's really an important one. All right, I just wanted to start with that. And then let's talk about themes, because theme is very important in Morrison's works. He really digs into them. So just Chris or Willie Mae, and then, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but what are some of the themes or themes that you think are prevalent in the novel, just from what you've read or what you've heard about Song of Solomon?
I'll begin.
Thank you.
Themes such as community history,
Yes.
friendships,
Yes.
gender inequality,
Absolutely.
ageism,
Mm-hmm.
manhood, nicknames,
Right.
and sadness.
Despair, huh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Of all those, which one stood out the most with you or that you related to more?
Sadness.
Mm-hmm. It really overtook us in this book. It's very somber. I agree. Just the plight that
all the characters,
everyone.
all of them went through their own
they all had
kind of sadness.
Oh my
all
goodness.
of them. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Excellent. I don't know, Willie, if you had anything to add, or
Chris kind of covered it all, but I thought the friendship was really important.
Yeah, it was.
Because, and of course, nicknames, you know, when, like, even myself, a lot of people know me by my nickname. If you was to say Willie Mae, they wouldn't know who that is. So yes, things like that are important. And with her book, I don't know, it was kind of like back and forth for me. Sometimes it was hard.
Yes.
For me to keep reading the book.
Right.
Like you said, the friendship came out because we all have longtime friends. And it kind of brought back those memories of when I met up with somebody and their name was this and we laugh about it. So yeah, some of the things, yes, others, I don't know.
I agree. And that's the thing. Thank you, Willie Mae, is that the book has so many layers. It's so layered that you can connect maybe with one piece. She's a skilled writer. She worked for a publishing house. So she knows writing like the back of her hand. And she purposely built this, and I say built it, she built this novel to have all these different layers so that it could be analyzed in so many different ways.
Right.
Friendship was key. I also have a nickname in my family. I'm Lisa. No one knows me as, they don't, I mean, they know I'm Felicia, but I'm called that. They wouldn't know. A lot of people don't know what my real name is, honestly. They really, really don't. But nicknames are very important. And the
Yes.
name she used in the book had significance. She used a lot of biblical names. We talked about that last time, with these biblical references that she had. Pilate, his sister, and First Corinthians, and just the beauty of milkmen. You know, so the names were key. Well, some of the themes that literature researchers talk about are searching for identity, which we know Milkman didn't know who he is, and he went to search for it. And it came out to be a good end for him, I believe.
Yeah, I want to hold you to that thought, because at the end, I wasn't sure if it was good or bad. It was a combination of both. If you want to hold on to that thought at the end, I have a question.
Sure. Okay. I'll hold
Okay.
on to that one.
Mhm.
And then racism. We know that was embedded throughout the book. And what caused some of the characters, like Guitar, to do some of the things that they did, just being fed up, having enough. And then searching for the dead was also in there.
Yeah.
You know, searching for the dead. I mean, the book started with someone killing themselves the day Milkman was born, jumping off the building. Searching for the dead. It was a big part of this book, a big part of the theme in the novel. So we'll talk about searching for identity when we get to the end of the thing. But excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Now, symbolism. She also used a lot of symbolism. Flight and singing are the two things that researchers say that she used as far as symbolism. Flight, the man jumped off the building at the beginning. Remember, we sang that song, that gospel song about going home. But also flight is about escape. If you can fly, you can escape. And Milkman wanted to escape his world and his life, and he was looking for something else. Then the songs are singing, the music connects us. It brings us, it connects us to our history.
Yep.
And remember when we did the book study on the gospel singers, and we talked about Black music and the Black church and how singing connects and brings together the Negro spiritual, if you will. That was big in here. She was implying that in there, and she was bringing that in there. The book is called The Song of Solomon. It's his song. What about the symbolism? Anything you guys want to add to that? Any of those, flight or singing, or even another symbol that you saw?
One of the symbols that I thought about, now that I understand that connection between flight and escape, was immortality was another symbol.
Yep.
Because in the beginning, we understand the man who committed suicide, and his son wanted to figure out not so much that when he was just a young boy, but what it meant to him.
Yeah.
And he always questioned, did my father do the right thing? Am I going to be like that?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to me? I mean, it was he made it personal, but at the same time, he outlived everything. He went through all this tragedy. He got away with things maybe others couldn't. He always had a way to escape something negative that made him think. But at the same time, he was not shy about admitting how he abused women to get by.
Yeah. Why do you think she let him, or wrote it where he went through so many things and came through them? What is that maybe teaching us?
Life itself.
Yeah.
Light of life. We're gonna all have trials and things that we go through. Right. Yeah, it's very interesting when you start to analyze these things. What about the peacock, the white peacock? We didn't talk about that one. You guys remember the white peacock?
Yeah, but that was, oh, I don't know. That was weird.
Very strange. Then we talked about last time how she did a lot of mysticism in the book. And so some parts are very out there. I was wondering, what was she doing during this time when she was writing this book? That was the 70s.
I think the peacock, some of us have to go to a zoo to see a
Right.
peacock. Some of us have never seen a peacock flutter and flare up his wings as he struts, and then how he's using the color of the wings to attract female birds.
Uh-huh.
And the peacock, who is so mighty, a little thing like a peacock all of a sudden blooms
Right.
at will. And it's the mystery of willfulness that bird can be a small bird, a proud bird, an ugly bird, a beautiful bird, but it's still doing the beauty, signifying its beauty by showing
Mhm.
what the wings, maybe the wings represent something to people, I don't know. But not everybody can see the beauty of a peacock right away. You have to be special, I think.
Right. Now, as far as, thank you, Chris and Willie Mae, as far as researchers or people who have studied her book, they say that white peacock symbolizes American society.
Oh,
Oh,
The nation. Mhm.
really? Oh,
Ah. Yeah, but we have the eagle, right? That's usually a symbol of America. And then she put a peacock in here, a white peacock, to represent it. That's one I'm still trying to wrap my mind around.
you mean she made it white on purpose, this
On
color?
purpose. They're saying that she did it on purpose.
Oh,
Mhm.
and to symbolize the whiteness of America?
Right, the white male dominance.
Oh,
And I can see that. I
uh-huh.
can see where she was going with that one. I know that in mythology, peacocks can represent immortality, which we talked about. Chris, you brought that up.
Yeah.
They are used in that way. They're a very mysterious animal. I'm scared of them. If you go
oh, now then we're gonna have to take you to the zoo.
to the Tucson Zoo, they walk around freely at the Tucson Zoo. I think it's their thing. And
Oh,
they're used to people that like them, not like me. And they like come right up to you. And I'm just like, please, thing, go away. I'm trying to eat. I am not feeding you. I don't know you. Hey, they can be very aggressive birds.
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
That's right.
well, that's almost like humans. At
Yeah.
times,
Right.
we're all aggressive.
Mhm.
Any animal or human or whatever. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, so she had a lot of symbolism in here.
Mhm.
Light, singing are the two that they bring out. But, and I like what Willie Mae said, sometimes this book, I had to put it down too. It can
Yeah.
get to you. And you just really have to stick with it. It was not an easy read. It was not a
Right.
lay back on
Yeah.
the, it wasn't a peach read, but it's an important piece.
I kept getting the characters mixed up.
Oh, I'm going to show you.
I had to go back and figure out who is who at least 3 or 4 different times because I couldn't figure out who was who in the beginning.
I'm going to show
And
you.
I didn't like that because
No.
then I had to start over again to figure it out again. And
Oh,
it just,
you're not the only
was
one.
very confusing.
You're not
Yeah.
the only one. I'm going to show, oops, let me escape from here. I want to share. Yep, here it is. Let me share my screen again. And I wasn't not able to send this to you guys, but can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Oh.
a graphic with the main characters.
Oh,
This would have
thank
been very-
you. Oh,
very
thank
helpful.
you. Oh,
So-
yeah, much.
so we got-
Oh, I like that. Oh, my goodness.
Solomon, which was
Mhm.
Milkman. This is the main character, Milkman's great grandfather.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's Solomon.
He's Solomon.
Oh, I missed that altogether.
And he flew back to Africa to escape.
I
oppression.
didn't even make that connection with that name. Oh my
There you go.
goodness. Oh, gee.
Now you
Oh,
see
now
naked.
yeah,
it?
now I get it. Oh, okay, I got it. Song of Solomon. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh my goodness.
There
How
you
did
go.
I miss that?
It's
Will
it's-
we be able to keep this copy?
I'm gonna try to send it to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. I think I can send it to you. I have all your cell phones. I'll text it to you. How about that? I can do
Oh, okay, because I think this would be good to keep because, like I said, I really had a hard time,
Mhm.
when you mentioned Milkman and then you mentioned,
Right.
going by nicknames and stuff. It was
Right, right,
Right.
it was kind of hard.
right,
Gotcha.
right.
So then you had Macon Dead the first, which was Milkman's grandfather,
Right.
Mhm,
who was swindled out of his farm,
mhm.
abandoned, and then Macon Dead Jr., which was Milkman's father.
Grandfather.
Grandfather. Mhm, mhm.
Then you have Pilot, which was Macon Jr.'s fearless, loving sister.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Ruth
Oh, she was good.
I love her.
She was a
One of
strong
my
woman.
favorite characters.
Strong woman, yes.
Ruth
Just
Foster.
like we are. We're strong women.
That's right.
Right, right.
That's right. You have Ruth Foster Dead, who was Milkman's overly nurturing, needy mom, they called her. She was,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
remember her? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think she was too strong of a character, though.
No, not really.
I
It
think
was
she just popped in and out.
right.
I couldn't figure out how she fit in.
She didn't have a strong
Yeah.
role.
Mhm,
And Hagar,
mhm.
Pilot's rejected granddaughter.
Oh, she was manipulative. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Yep.
Then you have Guitar, his vengeful
Mhm.
friend, Milkman's vengeful friend.
Mhm,
And then Milkman Dead, the passive, burdened, and searching man, who's the
mhm,
protagonist of our story.
mhm.
Okay, but I'll get this to you all. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think this is really good. Too, I think, say, once you do the first part, if you have something like this for the second part to kind of guide us as we go, this was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Slideshow.
Mhm, mhm,
Click on the site.
mhm.
Okay, all right, so we'll move on. Let's talk about Black culture and Toni Morrison. So I don't think you can talk about a book without talking about the author. Colson, remember the Nickel Boys? Oh, that was one of my favorites. I saw it on the bookshelf today again. And he had such a strong role in his book. But with Morrison, she and her family, they stressed Black culture. That was really important in the Morrison family.
Mhm.
Folk tales, songs. Remember, this is the 70s when Black folks were getting to their roots and Black Power movement and Black is Beautiful.
Mhm.
So as a result of that, she has those elements in her novels. It's throughout every novel that she's written. And in this book, Song of Solomon, Milkman, as he's searching for his identity, he learns more about his rich culture and history of African Americans. So
Mhm.
that's one of the things she was also bringing out in this book. She was trying to celebrate Black culture. Remember the one we watched last week where the woman interviewed her and asked her, would you ever write this book with white characters? And she said,
Oh, yeah, racism.
Mhm.
Yeah, she brought that up, that
Right.
he wouldn't ask this question of a white
Yes,
woman kind of attitude. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So that was very, very important to
Mhm.
listen. All
Mhm.
right, you guys. All right, so we're going to get started into our discussion. And like I said, it's going to be more of the overarching themes. But the narrator at in chapter 15 says is, if you surrender to the air, you could write it. What does that quote mean to you all? Just knowing our characters and we know what already happened in the story. How would surrendering to the air, if you surrender to the air, you could write it. What might that mean to you?
I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Or are we riding on a plane, or are we pretending as children flying or whatever? I can do anything. I could ride,
Mm-hmm.
up in the sky or whatever. I don't know.
Surrendering to the air. The air is light. And if we surrender,
Is the air sunlight?
tell me more about that.
I'm thinking of in the beginning when I was reading about the gentleman who committed suicide, he had a cape on.
Uh-huh.
And I think in the beginning I thought, and I mentioned it at the time and the last time, that he knew he was going to die. He was committing
Right.
suicide, but
Uh-huh.
the cape, when we're little kids, we put a towel or a cape or something around us thinking that we can fly like
Right.
like Superman or Wonder Woman or somebody, and we jump because we like to think that that cape is going to make us fly up and up and up and up.
Mhm.
Of course, little kids learn that it doesn't, but it doesn't matter because they're pretending, and to them they're flying. And so flying has a different connotation to me now. At the very end, I'll bring it up, but how can you can't escape death. You can fly away from it in different ways by trying to defeat it, although you know it's inevitable. And I think death and flight and the air are all the same thing, and you could ride it, meaning you can go along with the flow of life.
Yes.
Right, you can go along with the flow of life, you can ride life, you can ride the air, but all you're doing is riding it. You're not going to defeat it. You're just going to ride it. You can ride it if you want. It's just temporary. You're that ride, but in the end, the ride is going to end.
Yep. It's a mental state of mind. And you guys admit that. It's just letting God, universe, letting it go. You know, if you can just get that mindset to let go of earth, let it all go, then you could ride with the air. And again, we started the book with a man who did that, right? He jumped off building. And so we don't know at the end. There's some ambiguity at the end of the story of what happens. So that's what she's talking about. All right, we're going to dig in, you guys. Okay. Revenge. Revenge was a big part of Guitar's actions and a lot of the story in the first couple of chapters. We're starting about chapter 6, 7. Okay. How does revenge and hatred show itself through Guitar's actions?
Well, he's pretty upfront. He doesn't hide anything. He makes it very clear why he's vengeful and why he doesn't always trust anybody. He's pretty down to earth in terms of what happened to him or thought what happened to him. So it doesn't matter to him if nobody believes him. It doesn't matter to him if no one wants to heed his words. It doesn't matter to him because revenge has taken over his life. And so that's what keeps him alive. That feeling of hatred and revenge and maybe racism or dislike for his friends. Even though they're his friends, he still doesn't like them. Yeah. So
he's very upfront with it, doesn't hide it.
No.
How does that, you think, tie into his friendship with Milkman, though? Milkman, is he revengeful? Is he hateful?
Maybe at times, but you know, we all have friends who are negative and, you know, have revenge toward whatever.
Yeah.
But we're still friends because we can still do things together. We can talk about things. And, you know, I don't have a lot of revenge like he does or like other people I know. But you just kind of listen to them and then you move on if you can change the subject because it's something they're going to bring up all the time anyway.
Good point. Good
And,
point.
and you begin to wonder what really happened to make him like
why
that.
is he like that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You never learn. You never find out.
No.
Right.
I guess the reader
like she said, want to ride, right?
Yeah. I guess the writer isn't going to tell you it's because of racism. No,
more with less.
It's got to be more than that.
Yeah, remember that's why I showed that clip. It's more with less, so we can make our own opinions based on what we see in the book and what we can figure out in our own life.
Right.
So I think that I didn't like Guitar's character at all.
I didn't either.
No, he was very hard for me to even relate to or have any type of emotion toward.
But you know, Professor, some people are just mean.
Yeah.
Right.
you just don't know why.
Yes.
You're never gonna figure it out. They're just mean. I mean, they're just
Right.
mean. Yeah,
Yes.
just for the sake of being mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't figure it out.
no, yeah. So there was no sympathy for me for him on anything,
Mm-mm.
none whatsoever. Okay,
Mhm.
but she did a good job with revenge and
Mhm.
showing that. But
Mhm.
finding peace is also important. And I think this man had this friend who was so vengeful and hateful, and Milkman wanted to find peace. Do you think he ever found peace?
I think he found peace when he died.
Right. I think he finally felt or found out what he wanted to know, and maybe he felt good about it. You know, he found out about his ancestors, some good, some bad, but he found out, and that was the main thing.
He found out. Right.
Mhm.
So why do you think we started with someone taking their life, actually?
Mhm.
What is she trying to tell us about life and death?
They're one and the same. We're ashes to
Yeah.
ashes. We're ashes to ashes. So I just you read it by others who say that I want my friends to gather with me while I'm dying so that I can apologize to them or say that I love you before I die, or in other words, to make amends.
Yes.
And I think he was making amends at the very end,
Yeah.
just to give him peace of mind.
Right. Can you imagine what was going on in this poor man's mind?
No.
Just the torment and the torture that he went through, and he couldn't find peace any other way.
Yeah.
But he did find his ancestors. But what does that tell us about finding or being connected with family? How does that?
Family is important,
Family is.
regardless.
That's another theme. Did we mention that in themes? I think we did.
Mhm.
Yes.
Huh?
Mhm.
That family was huge, a huge support. And importantly, like I said, Morrison was very close to her family,
Mhm.
and it impacted everything that she did in her writing. So
Mhm.
finding peace was also important.
Mhm.
What about getting away? When Guitar and Milkman, remember when they took that green, well, anyway, they thought it was gold and it was bones and
Yeah, it was just bones.
how did you feel about them getting away?
Oh, and that was the funny part. They were not. They were not. That was the funny part. That was the funny part. They weren't the bones of black family. They were the bones of whites.
Right.
You know, so who knew?
Ew.
That was pretty funny about that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a very interesting twist.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring that up. How did y'all feel about that? Really, man, what did you think? If you remember that piece.
It I don't know. It was, like you said, it was funny,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking, why would you even want them? I don't know. It was
They
just
thought it was
weird.
gold. They thought it was gold, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. They thought the gold was hanging in that sack from the ceiling, and they thought it was
Yeah.
gold, and that's all they were thinking of: money, gold, and
Money.
whatnot. Yeah.
that was
And as it was said, who has gold? You know,
Yeah.
right.
they had mentioned that, who has gold? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, now I get to how it ended.
Oh, yeah.
So it says, for now, Milkman, okay, knew what Shalimar knew. If you surrender to the air, you could ride it.
Mhm.
So there's some ambiguity there. We don't know if Milkman lives or Guitar or neither one of them live.
That was my dilemma. What does that mean? Flying. Does that mean, I know it means escape, but
Yeah.
from what?
From pain?
Pain, life. It's just to be free, I guess, from whatever you going through or been going through. Now you're free and you get to fly away like a dove or something.
Oh, you could fly away. Okay, now does flying away mean that you're at peace?
Yes.
I
With
think
your-
so.
with your-
They
with-
probably,
with
It was
yourself,
God.
with
The
yourself,
soul.
you're finally at peace, and that is a beautiful feeling. That's personal, I guess, but you're
Right.
at peace. Now you're at peace, and now you can fly and go as high as you want. But at the same time, is flying away freedom?
I think in the biblical sense, which we talked about last time. Remember that song, "One Glad Morning When the
when I fly away.
Okay.
sun
Oh, okay.
fly away,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
God's celestial shores,
Yeah.
I'll fly away." Yeah,
It means freedom then, huh?
means soul set free.
Set
Mhm.
free. Uh-huh.
Soul set free.
Set free, and we're going to heaven.
Mm-hmm. Going on to heaven.
I hope I have that feeling.
You will. You will. So it ended though a little ambiguous.
Mhm.
But now he knew what Shalimar knew. If you surrender to the air, you could write it.
Yeah.
So Milkman, what about Guitar? Did Guitar die?
Ah, I think his bitterness kept him living. Some people are like that. Their hatred for
Yeah.
whatever keeps them alive, and they keep growing in their. They probably live to be old age and finally die of old age, but something about that hatred keeps them
Yeah,
living, makes them stronger to do certain things that they hurt people, that they like to do that.
That
I don't know.
stubbornness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was my discussion because this is a deep, deep book.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
It was very, very deep. I'm glad we went through it. We needed to. You know, she got her stamp this year, and she's a phenomenal author.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's in a lot of the English courses that we study her. But any question before I tell you about our next book, which is going to be a fun read, and we're early today. Wow, I don't have as many people to discuss today. That's why.
One thing that I thought of at the beginning, when Milkman was being breastfed for too long of a time,
Yeah.
and he was being teased about it and caught in the act, if you want to look at it that way.
Mhm.
For a moment, I was thinking that women breastfeeding infants and babies longer than they should to prolong the possibility of getting pregnant again within a certain time after they've given birth. So as long as they can still breastfeed, they are able to delay the to become pregnant again sooner. So they're still breastfeeding and lactating, and that delays the menstrual cycle, or that delays the possibility of pregnancy. And that's one of the first things. That's what I thought of right away. And then the thought escaped me. So I'm thinking that the woman was breastfeeding him because she didn't want to get pregnant again. And so even though he was 10, was it 10? No, 4. You know, the average age of a child being breastfed is what, 2 or 3 or 4. And some women do breastfeeding longer because they want to keep lactating so that they don't get pregnant.
Right.
That's what I thought of. I don't know.
I never thought of that.
No, nobody brought it up, but it was just what I thought of.
It's
That's
a thought.
Yeah.
No, I think that's possibility.
Yeah. Anyway.
I couldn't really figure out why she would do so long.
And
he became known as Milkman. But
anyway.
Yeah, that's a good thought though, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been, it could have been. I think she might have had a little bit of something going on up here that made her understand what was going on.
Yeah, sure.
But maybe she had a targeted reason, and that would be a good one. Excellent.
Yeah.
Really make any lingering?
No.
Tony?
No, like I said, it was a book that was hard to stay with it, but there was good points to it. It brought out a lot of things, but confusing at times.
It was.
And that confusion for me, Willa May, made me not like it. not want to
Yeah.
read, not want to read it, not want to
Yeah,
continue.
me too.
Not,
Yeah.
not want to do anything.
I'm glad you guys stuck with it. It was hard. It was.
Yeah, it
yeah,
was. That's why I
yeah.
said when it comes to Toni Morrison, she's written some good books, and I've read some of her books, but some of them I just,
Yeah.
you know, I
Mhm,
couldn't read them.
mhm.
We had to do it, and I appreciate you guys. But I have a fun one for the next one.
Uh-oh.
Diva by Cheryl
Diva.
Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl Lee. Oh,
Diva 2.0.
she's good.
Okay. Okay. So
Oh, she's a good oh, she's a longtime actress.
Agreed.
Oh,
Okay.
I've liked
Yay.
everything. I've liked everything she's done. Oh my gosh. I'll like to read that one.
Okay, see, you get a reward for getting through that hard book. So it's a good book.
Yeah, maybe it helped me to become a diva.
You already are one, so it's a 2.0.
I don't think so.
She actually did a book study on it that you had to pay to go to it. So
Oh,
yeah, so I'm excited. I am super excited to bring this one to you guys. So that'll be on the 24th of May at 5 p.m. And the book is Diva 2.0. It just came out.
oh, Diva 2.0. Oh,
2.0.
okay, okay.
It came out last weekend. I believe it was last Saturday or Friday that she came out with it. But
Oh,
it's very good. What is her TV show that she's on? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I love her on the show. She plays a teacher, a veteran teacher.
yeah.
So we'll have really a lot of fun with this one.
You know that she has been her character. What do I mean is she has been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
And she has weathered everything relating to Black actresses and Black entertainers and singers and performers. I mean, she's done everything, and she's been criticized for so many reasons. She's not beautiful. She's not Diana Ross. She can't do this. She can't do that. But she is still there. She's still doing her thing. She's still come back. She's got a book now.
Do you remember the first show she was on, Chris? Do you remember her first show? Because I still watch it.
No, I don't, but she was a character actress in and out of a series. I just can't remember it right now, but I've always liked her.
You remember It's a Living?
It's a Living. Yeah, that's it.
I watched her on it this weekend. I was like,
yeah, It's a Living. Yeah, Cheryl Lee. Have you ever heard her sing?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Isn't she beautiful? Her voice.
Beautiful.
And she's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, she could tell you a lot of things behind the scenes. So she probably isn't going to be a tattletale with her women friends.
I haven't read it yet, so I gotta get it. I'm gonna go pick it up today.
Like some Black women authors tattletale on their Black women friends.
I don't see her.
I don't see her doing that.
Yeah,
no,
that's not her style.
She's too nice of a woman and a human. I'm so glad. Thank you for choosing that.
Very, very welcome. So that'll be on the 24th of May at 5 o'clock. We'll be back with Diva 2.0 by Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Are you going to tell us what she meant by 2.0?
I have to read it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into it. We'll find out. Yeah, that's my read.
Okay.
That's my read starting.
Yeah.
I had to get through Song of Solomon again. That was.
Oh, and thank you for sending the illustration of the characters.
Yes,
I like that.
I'll send that to you all. Perfect.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. I like that. Thank you for the recommendation, Willie May. Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, I think it'll help us a lot because that was a tough book.
Yeah,
it was.
Right.
It really was.
Exactly. Good.
Okay, Brianna,
Good.
we are done. Then we can stop the recording and thank you guys